So we'll go ahead and start on our feet. We'll just kind of work through a little breath here to get started. And then I promise you, we'll bring it all the way down. So find that mountain pose stance. So bringing your feet under hips, really kind of grounding into the mat or the floor, wherever you're standing. You may choose to have your hands open to start at your sides. You may start with your hands at heart center. We're just going to really find those connection points and that alignment to start. So looking to engage those kneecaps and bringing attention to your pelvic bowl. So picturing that space as a bowl, and if it's tipping forward at all or backward at all, it's kind of at risk for spilling that beautiful energy in there. So bringing a nice neutral positioning to your pelvic bowl there, and then from the sacrum, growing that spine long, bringing your shoulders down away from the ears. The neck is long, crown of the head is high, ears over shoulders. Finding your breath here in that nice and open space as we're standing. Feeling that movement of breath in the nostrils, in the throat, and in the lungs, and then back out. Continuing to stay present with your alignment and the connections that the body makes with other parts of the body or the mat or your support throughout practice. Staying present in this space and in your body. Let's move into a few rounds of half sun salutation. Again, staying present in the body with that alignment and those connection points. Big breath in, arms reach high. Palms together, exhale, forward fold. Into the mat or a block. Letting it all release. The neck hang long. Nice and slow for the first round here. Slight bend in the knees if you need. Hands to shins or knees, halfway lift. Nice big inhale. Exhale, release. Forward fold. Big inhale, root to rise. Palms to heart center, exhale. Do that again. Inhale, arms come high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release, forward fold. Big inhale, root to rise, reach those fingertips long. Big breath in the lungs. And exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Big inhale, way up high. 2 more rounds. Heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold. And rise. One more round. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. And rise. One more big breath to the top, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Coming to a low lunge. So step that left foot back. And your hands, depending on your alignment, may be on the right and left side of your foot. I tend to like mine on the inside so that I can get my palms nice and flat. So feeling into your alignment here, feel the connection points. Your right foot, heel to toes, all the way on the mat. Left heel raised. Bring your attention to the hips, making them nice and square, parallel to the mat. Finding your breath in this space here. A lot of activation here. Oppositional stretch of the hips, the right leg forward and the left back. One more breath here. Lower the left knee, uncurl the left toes, shift the weight into the left hand and let the right hand come high. Nice, easy twist here. On that inhale, reaching those fingertips long. Feeling a nice cleansing twist in the spine. One more big inhale with that reach. And exhale, let the hand come back down to the mat. Curl the left toes, gently lift the left knee, and step the right foot back to meet the left for down dog. Paying attention to the alignment here. Hands about shoulder width distance, fingers spread, feet about hip width distance, arches of the foot, aiming for the mat, slight bend in the knees, activation in the core. Down dog is beautiful, active rest. Another full breath here. And on the exhale, setting up for pigeon, bringing that right knee to the right wrist. Beautiful. And uncurling those left toes. Maybe shifting that foot back a little bit. Maintaining those neutral hips. Finding support under the right hip or under the left leg. If you would like to bring your pigeon down, depending on what the body needs, feel free to come to your elbows, letting your head rest on a block. Just be here for a few breaths. Long enough to check in with those connection points and the alignment. Noticing where the body is active. Engagement in the belly. Shoulders come down. Notice where the body can be soft. Feet, toes, maybe even giving them a little wiggle. Finding another breath here. On the exhale, start to bring the hands closer to the body. If you've come down, pushing up. Curl those left toes and lift and shift that right foot back to down dog. Coming back here safely. Finding that beautiful alignment there. Excellent. One more inhale here, and on the exhale, step the left foot forward for low lunge. Left foot, heel to toe on the mat. Right heel is high, toes are forward. Right leg is long behind the body. Hips are parallel or square with the mat. Arms are active, supporting some of the weight. Kind of shift that weight too. See what feels good there. And the neck be long. Beautiful. Your next exhale, start to let that right knee come down to the mat. Uncurl the right toes. Shift the weight to the right hand and let the left float high, twisting toward that bent knee. Reaching those left fingertips long. On the next exhale, let the left hand come back down, connecting to the mat. Curl the right toes, lift the right knee. Step the left foot back, down dog. Active rest here. One more full breath. Begin to shift that left knee toward the left wrist for pigeon. Uncurl those right toes. Shift them back if it feels good. You may keep your pigeon high or bring it on down into the elbows or stacking your forearms to rest the head. Just noticing and honoring some square hips here. Long spine. Comfortable space to breathe. Again, noticing those points of contact, the hands or arms supporting some of the weight, sensations in the hips. Or this can be a little bit more intense. Maybe the jaw has been clenching with those intense feelings. You can bring some softness there. Another breath here, and start to push into those hands, curling those right toes and shifting back safely into down dog. Couple breaths here. After your next full breath, step the right and left foot forward to meet the hands. Start to heel toe the feet out just a little bit and letting the hips drop. For Malasana or Yogi Squat. Turn this way here. Feel free to bring the support under the sits bones if you'd like. Noticing how that feels just to bring the body a little bit closer to the earth here. Push of the elbows from the inner knee out. Almost a tuck of the tail there. And release in the low back. Letting the neck be long here. Shoulders are down. Noticing the breath, slowing just a little bit. From here, we're going to move into hero's pose, but I invite you to keep the toes tucked here, paying a little love to the feet. So typically in heroes, we just kind of sit on, the knees are together, and we sit on the feet. Just for a few moments, and come on down whenever you're ready, but sitting on those toes, and maybe it's just a kneeling is enough pressure for you, totally fine. Just stretching the fascia on the bottom of the feet. And finding length in that spine. We'll do a little breathing here. So from here, inhale, arms come nice and wide, open the chest. And exhale, curling the spine, reaching the hands long. Kind of like a cat and cow. So inhale, open wide. Exhale, bring it in, curl the spine, reach the hands high or long in front, just back and forth. Inhale, open. Exhale, curl and reach. Again, coming off those toes if it becomes intense. Just a nice little foot love. I have some more of that in just a few minutes here. Take one more round here. Inhale. And exhale, reach. The hands come to the tops of the thighs. Honoring that hero in you, the heroes around you. Letting the breath be organic here. The next shape will be frog. So I like to have a blanket for my knees here. I think if I stay at this angle here, you guys can still see me pretty well. I like to bring my blanket long. I can get a little distance here between my knees. So what you're going to do is, once you set up your support, if you want that, bring your knees to the mat or to the earth. Let the legs, the shins, and the feet come right out behind them, almost making a right angle there. And then letting those feet open like a frog. Yeah. Kind of play with the distance of your knees, whatever is comfortable for your hips. If you'd like a block or a bolster for your torso, block for your head to land on, grab that. Come down to whatever's comfortable for you. This can be pretty intense. We'll just be here for 6 minutes or so. I'm just kidding. Just a few breaths. Opening up the hips. staying present, noticing the alignment and your foundation in this shape, honoring any shifts the body might be asking for, and then finding length where you can, the spine, the shoulders, between the ears and the neck, the tops of the shoulders. Be spreading your fingertips. Activation of the core. Softening of the jaw. Awareness of the breath. Say just 3 or 4 more breaths. Completely in and out. And once you're feeling ready to come out of frog, one of safe ways is to shift the body forward onto the belly, untucking those knees and letting the legs come long. Also use the arms to push the body up and start to bring the knees in for that tabletop position. In a safe and comfortable way for you to do that. And then we'll come into a seated position. So taking your time. Frog can be intense on its own, much less getting out of it. And this, I'm super excited about, you guys. So finding an easy seat and accessing your left foot first. So whether that's bringing the left foot on top of your easy seat, letting the right leg come along, and the left foot sitting on top there. You may even like a block to set your foot on. A lot of options. So as I was asking at the beginning of class, if you use other modalities to support wellness, I am kind of a nerd, so I like to, I experienced acupuncture, and why did that work so well for me, and looking into it, and what else can I do on my own? So the feet have so many acupressure points, as you experienced, Sarah. So putting those little magnets on points of your feet stimulate different energy channels and organs in the body. So considering that we're in a season that is cold, it's dark, our immune systems typically are a little bit more stressed or maybe need that little bit of help. We have a point called the bubbling spring point in the bottom of the foot. So when you find your big toe, and then you kind of find that big toe knuckle, and then right underneath it, and there's usually like a crease or a wrinkle in your foot there, right underneath that big toe knuckle or ball mound there is the bubbling spring point. And applying a little pressure there is stimulating for the kidneys. And the kidneys are super important because they help to filter waste out of the body. They help regulate blood pressure, which is great for stress. And then maintaining chemical balance in the body. So taking some time to just bring a little pressure to that bubbling spring point, starting with the left foot in traditional Chinese medicine is something they also suggest. And then after a little pressure, maybe some circular motions, and then just running down from that bubbling spring point through the arch. So a nice little massage from that point down toward the heel. Finding your breath. And then maybe paying a little attention to the rest of the foot too, the heel, the outer edge. That outer edge has a lot of connection to the vertebrae. And then each toe has a number of acupressure points. I will never remember all of them, but it's super interesting to look into. So, our feet are so busy, and just a little bit of love goes a long way. So once you feel pretty good with that left foot, give it a nice little squeeze with love. Let it come out, and then bring that right foot in. And again, find that bubbling spring point just below a big toe knuckle there. Apply some pressure. Maybe some circular motions. And then start to push from that point down to the heel. And some love to the rest of the foot. Even doing a little visualization, just visualizing your body taking this energy, cleansing what it doesn't need, what is blocking movement. Just letting it go, letting it move, letting it be free, ridding of what you don't need. I hope this is a practice that you can call on at any time, any day, numerous times a day. Treat yourself to some essential oils in this space as well. So many that are good for the immune system, stress, pain. Once you feel good on that right side there, taking your time, letting the legs come long out in front of you for staff pose. Connecting to the sits bones. And the hands come long to the mat or resting on your thighs. Letting the body integrate everything you've just done. A breath or two here. And then on your next inhale, find the lengthiest length in your spine that you can. And then start to fold the body forward toward the toes. Feel free to call on that block or bolster to let the head come to this forward fold. As you're turned inward, come back to any intention you might have set, a mantra, whether you set one or maybe it's time to create one for the rest of practice. Taking another breath or two here, and then start to bring the torso up high, back to that staff pose. And then let the legs come wide. We'll just spend a breath or two coming to knee to nose on each side. So turning toward the right, finding length in that spine first, and then hinging forward over that right leg. Pulling on that block if you'd like. And start to walk the hands back to center. And you can turn toward the left, find that length, and then hinge forward. Walking your hands back to center. Bringing that torso up. Bring the legs back to that staff pose. You just take a minute bending into the knees, windshield wiper. Kind of even things out there. When you're ready, we'll come on down to the belly for Sphinx pose. Bring your support with you if you'd like. Sometimes today I'm going to bring my blanket underneath my hips. And the bolster under the chest is sometimes nice. So Sphinx here. Got our legs out long behind us. Elbows under shoulders, palms of the hands, fingers spread. Connected to the earth. Slight back bend here in the low back. And then growing the upper spine long. Crown of the head is high. This shape is also very stimulating to the kidneys and adrenals. If you'd like a little more activation, maybe turning those fingers outward toward the edge of your mat and pushing into lengthening or unbending the elbows, straightening the arms for seal. Sphinx is just beautiful here. Staying present by noticing all your connection points, tops of the toes and feet, engagements in the body here. Awareness of the breath. One more full breath here. And bring those hands under the shoulders. Curl the toes and push the body back into tabletop. pay a little love to the shoulders here. Or thread the needle. So I like to really open up first here. So lift that right hand. Let it reach high and long. A nice little twist of the spine here. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. And on the exhale, bring it on through. Thread that needle. Hips stay high. Shoulders come down to the mat. Head, cheek, come to block or the mat. Left hand may stay under that left shoulder, supporting some of the weight. You may opt to bind the left hand at the low back. It may reach along toward the front of the mat. Take your options. And to push into the left hand. Once it's under the shoulder, bringing the body back to the tabletop position. Set up for the other side. Find your neutral space here in tabletop. Letting the weight shift into that right hand and then lifting the left, twisting into it just a little bit. Inhale, reaching those fingertips long. And on the exhale, letting it slide, thread through under the right. Little twist in the opposite direction. Let that shoulder come down. Taking another full breath here, and then bringing that right hand under the right shoulder. The strength of that arm with the left, bring the body back to tabletop. From here, we'll let the heart melt. So stepping the palms out toward the front, top of the mat. Letting the hips stay high to the mat or a block or a bolster. Letting the forehead down to the mat, block or bolster. Another cleansing breath here. Start to bring the body back once again to that tabletop position. Begin to shift the hips back into child's pose. So yogi's choice here, if you would like the wide knees, shifting the hips back, coming to any support you'd like. You may keep the knees together and come into more of the embryo pose. Take what you'd like, what the body is needing. I have a reading to share today from Journey to the Heart by Melody Beatty called Stay in the Present Moment. Stay in the present moment. That's where you find life's magic. How overwhelmed we feel when we anticipate the future. All that needs doing, all the tasks, the work, the potential problems, the responsibilities. How tired we become when we dwell on what we've done already, the energy we've expended, and the imperfect results. Yes, sometimes to stay in the present, we need to visit the past, to clear out old feelings, to heal an old limiting belief. But the visit can be brief, and sometimes we need to think about the future, to make commitments, to plan, to envision where we want to go. But to linger there can cause unrest. It can spoil the moment we're in now. Stay in the present moment, and the past and the future will fall naturally and easily into place. Stay in the present moment. All the magic will return. Taking a few more breaths here. This restful child's pose. Once you feel ready, you can start to shift the body forward. And then lovingly bring the body onto the back. And we'll invite a nice hug of the knees. Maybe a little rock side to side. And then let both feet float high, the legs up the wall. Finding that organic flow of the breath. Letting both feet float back down. Letting the left leg come long on the mat. Keeping the right knee in. And letting that right foot come back to the ceiling, back to the sky. And either finding your peace fingers to the big toe or hands to the back of the calf. A nice single leg stretch here. A strap is always nice as well. Maybe play around, maybe open the foot, let it come to the right side body. Wide stretch here. And then bring that knee back into the chest. Nice big inhale, and on the exhale, cross it over to the left side. Supine twist here. Let that right hand come out to the side, maybe letting your gaze fall to the right. Begin to guide that right knee back to center, bringing the left knee back in for a big squeeze, both knees. On your next exhale, let the right leg come long, keeping that left knee in, letting that foot float high back up to the sky. Finding your calf or thigh or big toe. A little supported stretch here. Maybe after a breath or two, bringing the leg wide to the left side. And coming back to center. Hug that knee in. On your exhale, twist. Bringing it across to the right side. Letting that left shoulder come down. Arm comes along to the left side. Gaze may follow. After your next breath, start to bring the knees back to neutral. One last squeeze. And letting the feet come to the mat. The knees stay high. Maybe the feet come a little bit wider than the hips, so the knees can fall together, resting on one another. Maybe letting the hands come to the belly and or the heart. Staying present with that breath. Then taking any last movements that you need here. You need another squeeze in, legs up the wall, a bridge. And I invite you to set up for your final resting pose. You have bolster block, blanket under the neck, bolster under the knees. Take what you need. Sometimes a little weight on the feet from the blanket or a bolster is a nice and grounding, soothing experience. I have a 4 elements guided practice to share with you tonight for the first part of your Shavasana. So taking your time and settling in to the rest position of choice. Closing your eyes or softening the gaze. Bringing awareness to the places in the body where you're experiencing contact with the floor, any props that you have supporting your body. And let it be just that, completely supported. Begin with the element of earth or solid form. Without thinking too hard about what this means, openly examine where and how you can feel solidity. This might be the structure of your skeleton, the floor you're laying upon, any tension in the body, the weight of the muscles as they relax. Don't rush through these sensations or try to force them. When you feel the earth element in the body, stay with it for a few deep breaths. Continue the seeking, recognizing, and feeling for a few breaths. Bringing awareness now to the element of air or wind. An obvious place to start in the form of the body breathing. Where can you feel the air of the breath? You may also look for places in the body where you can feel empty space. The nostrils, the mouth, and the ears can offer insight into the air element. Now shifting your awareness to the water element. Tune in to any sense of liquidity you can feel. There may be moisture in the eyes, saliva in the mouth, sweat on the body, or you can feel the flexibility of the muscles, the flow of the breath in and out, or even the pulsing of your blood. Scan, seek, and stay with liquid for a few breaths. Now bring your awareness to heat or fire in the body. This element is open to interpretation. So look for yourself to see what you notice. Perhaps it's temperature of the air touching your skin, or certain spots of the body that are warmer or cooler than others. Watch for any experience of temperature, either externally or internally. Spending a few moments in awareness of the body as a whole. As you breathe, feel the four elements working together to support and fuel your body. Honoring the last few minutes of our Shavasana, silence, stillness, before I bring you back to the presence. Please, I invite you to start to bring movement to your fingers and toes. Conscious breaths back into the lungs. Slowly and gently honoring the body. So come back to the now. You're taking some time to bend into the knees. Roll gently to one side of the body or the other. Trying a few restful breaths there. Slowly and with love. More time. Bringing the body back to a seated position. Enjoying a breath or two in this upright position. Back into the space in your body. My hands at my heart. The love and light in me sees and honors the love and light in each and every one of you. I bow to you. Namaste.